If you don't happen to know Matt Lanter that well at this point, don't feel too bad since he's been around for a while, but his movies tend to include those that are either sequels or add-ons to original movies you didn't know about, or spoofs that are kind of funny but didn't get a whole lot of attention. That being said, none of that diminishes his talent, as he's someone that obviously has enough staying power and show business to stick around for a while and do something great, so that he might eventually be remembered in a much tighter scope and for work that might actually be considered award-worthy and can definitely elevate him in a much bigger way. He has managed to capture the attention of some folks since he is after all a very handsome guy and does have enough acting skill to prove that he's worth a look. Here are 5 of his best movies. Number 5. Disaster movie. It's almost like a tornado swept through Hollywood, picking up random pop culture figures and disaster movie ideas, and then shook them to an insane extent before dropping them off into a blender that eventually churned out this movie. From one movie reference to the next, it would seem that this is a non-ending line of head-shaking moments that are meant to be funny and kind of are, to be honest. This is almost like a spoof movie on speed, since honestly it's like strapping into a crazy rocket with only a single, decayed seatbelt and a whole lot of TNT fueling the rocket as it ascends skyward. Number 4. Pitch Perfect 3. You can imagine that he doesn't have a huge role in this movie, but he does get to be the love interest of one of the Bellas. In this movie, however, the Bellas are all feeling the downside of life after graduating college, thereby having to get jobs and find their own way in life. When they find a way to keep singing and to stay together, they take it, only to get into another round of trouble that will eventually test them again. By the end of the movie, though, they've come through and found a new path in life that will take them in different directions, but at the very least will keep them happy for some time to come. Number 3. Liar's All. There are times when simple games can get out of hand, and this is a perfect example. Truth or Dare is typically a lot of fun since it gets people to open up and really come clean about who they are and what they've done in their lives. Plus, it can show a person's proclivities when a dare is taken, and, unfortunately, it can also lead to the kind of dilemma in which a lie is the only way out. When one of their friends ends up dead after a dare gone wrong, the friends have to find a way to make up a lie that will be convincing not only to the police and those involved, but to them as well, since they're the ones that have to live with it. Number 2. Vampires Suck. If you weren't a fan of the Twilight movies, then this one is definitely for you, since it goes front to back in making fun of the movies and spoofing them in a way that's nothing short of hilarious and makes the movies seem as though they were a build-up to this. The fact that Jacob now turns into a chihuahua and Edward kills and maims in an absent-minded sort of way is nothing short of morbidly brilliant, since it's the kind of movie that a lot of might have liked to see instead of the actual thing. This one is recommended without a doubt for those that weren't the biggest fans of Twilight, and even for those that were. Number 1. The Roommate. Those that become obsessed with others in such a short time are typically those that have some massive issues in their lives that haven't been dealt with or even looked into in some time. Matt has only a minor part in this movie, as he plays the ex-boyfriend that can't take the hint and wants to get back together with the lead woman. Unfortunately, this leads to his death, as the roommate that is so obsessed with his ex ends up duping him into believing that she's his ex just long enough to get the drop on him and stab him to death. From that point on, she keeps targeting other people in her roommate's life, creating quite the swath of destruction. He's been a lead and he's been a bit player and supporting actor, but it would seem as though he might be best as a strong support or a tentative lead. All he needs is the right chance,